in store roughly the same. Yeah, happy to be back. It's been a long time. So I'll be discussing my tracks that I selected for 2020. Sorry, already getting ahead of myself. Yeah, it's been a very challenging year for, I believe, all of us. And until March, it was cool. I've been to, yeah, that's why I put on the shirt. The only basically concert I've been to this year. For a third party, actually, set. I've been to Slovakia in January of 2020. And then I've been to 2 concerts, one by Oliver Heldens in Bratislava, one of my favorite rapper, SSEO, in February. And that's it. Joachim is already in. Thank you very much for joining. I'll be with the year mix already. Because, well, we have roughly 1.5 hours. And then we'll head over to Kryder for his year mix. 2 hours of Criteria Radio this week. Yeah, Joachim is already saying he's missing me a lot. Yes, I miss you too, a lot. Basically because, yeah, we haven't seen each other this year for ADE. So yeah, so I'm here on Facebook, here on Instagram. So I might switch here and there onto cameras, basically. Yeah, and thus I'm also very, a bit sad that it worked out this way. Let me check if I can see the comments here, because I don't know whether you're commenting or not. It's not much yet, but maybe in the future. So no, this is okay. Yeah, because I've got a new device here for the first time, and yeah, I'm very happy that I got it. So I'll check it basically for the first time. And the first track I'm gonna play for you tonight is "Waiting on My Love." So I decided to put in this track in the mix because I wanted to. Kryder released 10 tracks this year. As you know, I've been supporting him for years and years already. And there's something. There's only light here somewhere. Okay, never mind. I've really enjoyed his music. So Criteria is really something that I'm really looking at for since the beginning, basically. And yeah, I'm very happy that he released the tracks. Basically, Criteria was still going on, and basically was kind of something that I've done, over the past. I've listened basically to every episode, basically live. I believe 1 or 2 I missed because I slept, because I was so done with the day, and usually I'm still awake at 10 p.m. But yeah, well, sometimes it happens that I'm just very done with the day, and then I'm just asleep. But it's very rare. Usually I get up a bit later, go to bed later, that way. Yeah, Rosie's here. Thank you very much. Just join me for my year mix. Maybe I'll put it down a bit and turn up the volume a bit. Yeah, it's been a long time. I believe since May, because then, it was also very tough for me to kind of keep those Bisicast going, and I believe one of the main reasons is that I wanted to promote the music for the club. The club culture is for me something very essential, something that I basically grew up a bit with, I would say, and thus I'm very sad that basically club culture is not happening at the moment. So, and everything went basically live. Some you doing some live mixing. Tomorrowland is doing something very crazy tomorrow, for example. But yeah, that's just how it is. Everybody is trying to do what they can in those difficult times. And one of these tracks that I put into my year mix I'm 100% sure wouldn't have seen the light of the day if there wasn't the pandemic. It's all I can tell you for now. I've done also a Spotify playlist for my year mix. So if you haven't heard it yet as a mix on Mixcloud, or do you prefer Spotify in general, I'll put this into my comments now. And yeah, Audio is also watching. Thank you very much for joining. So let me know what you think, whether you like the format or not. I put in year mix 2020 Spotify playlist. And hope that you enjoy this. I hope that Facebook will not kill my stream. Maybe one word why I took "Waiting on My Love" and not another Criteria track, or Kryder track, not Criteria. I've chosen one. Because, well, I believe Kryder and Staar really was amazing to hear that they are back together on a track, and I really enjoyed it. Was really one of my lockdown tracks, I would say, and thus I'm very happy that that they managed to put their forces together again for this one release at least, and this year. But of course, I could have taken so many others. Like, I really enjoyed many Kryder tracks this year, especially now this On the Beach at the end, powerful drop. Yeah, very enjoyable in general. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are so far. What I should turn up the music, because I don't know like myself as much. But yeah, on Facebook you see much more of my room now, because now I'm basically in 16:9 ratio, so almost kind of HD-esque. But yeah, maybe I'll drop the link to Twitter and to some of my friends. And yeah, the second track that I chosen was also, I believe, one of my first lockdown tracks. And that's why, you know, it was a very tough time, the first lockdown in March. And I've been listening a lot to If It's Love by Mark Knight. It's actually not something very special, it's like a piano house, but I just enjoyed kind of the vibe. I needed that in that time. And so what I've always, you know, tried to tell you, or like to say why I selected the certain tracks. One of the criteria is really like a very personal impact, I would say, on me. And this track had a very personal impact because it really put me through a very tough time. And yeah, and that's why I chosen this track. It's not because it's something, you know, absolutely like amazing or like revolutionary, but a track doesn't have to be revolutionary. So yeah, that's why, you know, I'm very happy that I've chosen this one. And yeah, yeah. And I really like kind of this piano sound, and this vocal also adds a very nice touch to it, like this. Give it up, release the pressure. Mauricio is in, thank you very much. And yeah, Rosie indeed. On Facebook I believe it's also better, the quality and everything, but I'm also live on Insta for those who prefer it. And David is also in, thank you very much. It's been a long time we've all seen each other. And I'm very unhappy that we haven't seen each other this year, David, so hope that everything is fine with you and Nika. Nika, very cute, by the way. It's a golden retriever you have? Emo is also my favorite Toolroom track of the year. Basically the only... No, I have a second Toolroom track. Oh, this will be exciting. Yeah. So, yeah. And I'm very happy that, yeah, that I kind of managed it. And also Dominica joined me. Thank you very much. Yeah, I hope that 2021 will be our year, that we'll meet finally. A very huge fan of Hexagon, and I really like Hexagon as well. Some releases are very enjoyable. Yeah. And, well, I believe a Hexagon track didn't make it into my list, but maybe next year, you know, sometimes, you know, it's always very, you know, different with the releases and with the sounds. But that was definitely one of my faves. So, If It's Love by Mark Knight is very cool. Yeah, maybe one sentence about the mix in general. So I really tried to kind of take the mix, let the mix flow, kind of to take time with the transitions. So really like from outro to intro, and not like kind of too much into the drop. Maybe a couple of times, because I really enjoy when a track goes, you know, takes the time to go out, to go in. Maybe this one is here a bit of an exception here, because I kind of mix it a bit faster. But yeah, in general, yeah, very enjoyable. Yeah, everything sucked this year, David. Absolutely. I don't see the comments on my pad, and I don't know why this is happening. But yeah, I got it on my PC here as well. Did you see featured... yeah, if you mean the last Facebook post, Rosie, and now Insta post of third party, yes, I've seen it, but I haven't seen myself there because the faces are going very quick, so I have no idea. Yeah. Very nice, Rosie. Would be sick to see everybody at ADE next year. Hopefully when we all get vaccinated, because we don't know how everything will go down. Now the first vaccines are going out. Huge political event, of course, because we need to kind of promote it or whatever, and see like the policy, you know, did all that, and it's all the policies or the politicians' kind of achievement, but it's not. It's like the science achievement or scientists' achievement, but whatever. Okay. Also, like, I'm very sad now with all these schools are in lockdown, kindergartens are in lockdown. But the ski slopes in Austria are open, so this is also very questionable, I would say, what especially our government in Austria is thinking, what is good for the pandemic and what's not. Yeah, the next track that you're already hearing in the background, I'm talking so much, I've missed it, really. It's so cool to see you all again. And tomorrow Brexit. Yeah, that's also another topic. Yeah, happy that at least there's a deal, but there are only losers in the deal. Obviously, very sad. You hear in the background Lose Control, but in the Gemellini remix, and I really enjoyed it. Just, you know, the flow, it's a bit deeper, but kind of the vocal flows so well into the drop, and I really kind of feel this, how to phrase this, kind of this melancholic kind of approach to it, not as much, you know. It's not so focused on the drop, I would say. The drop is like kind of a nice add-on to the vocal. So it kind of inverts the idea of the original, and I love this. So, and it was really one of my faves, and I believe I can turn it up. It was a bit tough to download because you have to kind of sign up to a newsletter for Meduza. It was very strange. But I believe the idea of this kind of inverted idea for the track, I believe that's what Meduza liked, and that's why they kind of made this download available by Gemellini. This filler. Now, I lose control. When I lose control. I love this. Such a sick track. 8 people are in. Thank you very much for joining me. Here over on Facebook. Also, I'm also live on Instagram. Tomasz, thank you very much that you've joined as well. And yeah, I really hope, Dominika, that ADE will be back next year. No idea yet. One thing for sure, I believe it's not gonna fall into my birthday, because I believe it will be after my birthday. I believe it will be 21st to something like this, I believe. I believe 13th to 17th next year, I believe, of October. And my birthday is on the 20th. Usually, over the past years, I've celebrated my ADE and my birthday at ADE, and once even at the Sosumi or Kryder party, which was absolutely sick. I received a Kryder cap by Chris back then as a present. Very thankful for that. Thank you very much, Alex, for wishing me a good holiday. Back to you, of course, wishing you a good holiday as well. So, meanwhile, we're keeping on with the mix with this absolutely fantastic remix by Gemellini. The only kind of bootleg, but it's not really a bootleg because it's officially approved. It's very tough. But the idea of the bootleg is basically lost, I believe, almost. Especially now, there's, I believe, a platform, or it's in the making, that allows you to remix everything you want, and then you upload it to the platform, and then kind of the original artists, like, you bootleg it basically, because there you have no kind of, you're not allowed to do that because you don't have the permissions. But then the original artist gets paid, you know, for the kind of bootleg you make, which is kind of an unofficial remix, but still, you know, the people or the original artists are getting paid. Good idea. And, you know, that kind of makes the whole idea of a bootleg totally ad absurdum, you would say in Latin. So it's basically not existing anymore, because every time you bootleg something, the original artist gets paid anyway, which is a good idea, which is a fantastic idea. And many remixes or bootlegs, you know, added something very special to the original, and that's why I love bootlegs. Always loved them, still love them if they're well made. And, you know, especially, you know, with the remix contest and everything already like a couple of years back also happening. So this is, I believe, a good idea, and it might happen in the future. First we are now hearing Into the Unknown. Yeah, I do have a promo mail, Alex. I can answer you that. Thank you, Jordan. I'm very well. Just a bit sad that I can't really celebrate Christmas. It's New Year's Eve in general. I'll be just staying home. You know, it's just so sad. Because I thought it would be just a better idea to do something, better or something else, like go out, meet some people. But it's not allowed now. And yeah, so I'll just stay home. My brother might come because I'm home alone basically for the holiday season. Kind of goes in Austria, goes like kind of until the 6th of January because we have like the Holy Free kind of Kings, however it's called. I don't know. And the 6th of January is a holiday. And this year we've kind of enlarged it to the 11th to the 10th because there's lockdown in Austria anyway, so the shops are closed, also the shop what I'm working with. So we've kind of extended it to 11th of January. But I believe, I might go, still to the office and do something. But we'll see. See what the future holds. Corey is liking my video. Thank you very much. Corey will also be part of the year mix later on. Now, let's talk about Sosumi. So there was a whole comeback of Sosumi this year with Into the Unknown. There was the first release by Alessa.A and Vadai. Alessia from Japan played this wonderful piano, and everybody in the Kryder live stream on Facebook loved the track. And I enjoyed it very much as well because it's so different. I love that the breakdown is something completely different than the drop, and then the build-up breakdown, or the second part of the breakdown with these synths, with this very harsh synths, and or kind of this transy kind of vibe synth. And I really enjoyed it. Deniz also watching over on Insta. Thank you very much for joining. And thank you, Alex. Stay safe as well. And And I also like the Atmos in the background. Very nicely mixed, nice idea with this classical piano, and that I believe touched many of us in the community. And I'm very happy that Sosumi is back this year for the main reason, for a very simple reason, I believe, because back when Kryder had 2 years ago the 100th release of Sosumi, which was the last one apparently, but it was not. He then. I thought, why are you stopping Sosumi? We have such a movement, such a community around Sosumi, and why lose all that? He started Kryder, and but it took quite a while to get Romani released. Romani was the first release on Kryder back in 2018, and but then the lockdown came, I believe, and that kind of made it a bit faster to start with Sosumi. And we had basically, I believe up until the last week, we had every week a Sosumi release, and I kind of counted them together. It's been 60 tracks or so on Sosumi this year, so it's been really a lot, because some releases were EPs where there 3 or 4 tracks. And thus very happy to see Sosumi back, and I believe 2 Sosumi tracks made it into my list here, and I love also here this filler here. And this drop, amazing. So sick work by Vadai on this drop, transy vibes, but still kind of big roomish, up feeling without being this kind of harsh big room drop. Very enjoyable. I loved it all throughout. We'll skip a bit now because I see we are a bit late on time. I have 1 hour left and I have kind of over an hour of music, so we'll need to skip a bit. Next track, Take Me Away. There we go. And in the extended or club mix. And lockdown track. Lockdown really kept me through lockdown 1, basically. And I loved that Harry's singing on it. We can already hear it in the background. So all in all, I really loved the mix. It was a pleasure putting it together, absolutely. And Guillermo is in. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be back. Thank you very much, and I'm good looking. Okay. I'll take it, but you know, it's a very tough time, and you know the worst thing about it, maybe I looked better before December. December is very stressful for us, you know, at the work when I'm working, and you know, now I've eaten a lot of basically cake at Christmas, and now basically I finished all the cake basically yesterday, I believe, and I started on the 24th, so 5 days of cake or 6 days of cake. You can imagine how good I must look, but actually, okay, if you're thinking that way, thank you very much, Graham. But it will all settle down in January again, hopefully. So, I very much enjoyed Take Me Away, one of my faves, and maybe let's enjoy the drop, because I don't want to talk over the drop, simply because of this meme. That was kind of my move to Take Me Away, because I really felt kind of this euphoric vibe, and yeah, it was very, very enjoyable in general. And yeah, I'm happy that that I managed to that they kind of managed to kind of still bring out, or like bring out tracks in this quarantine. And I believe Take Me Away was in the works for a long, long time. Yes, Rosie, that's very true. I've lost a lot of weight, and I'm very happy with that, because if I compare how I looked and how I felt like 2 years ago when I, you know, last saw me, and now it's a huge difference. So I feel a lot healthier, and this is something very good. And I believe that, especially now in the time of the pandemic, we kind of prioritize our health, kind of, you know, for all of us personally, I believe. And you know, thus I'm very happy that that I kind of managed to do that, because you know, overweight is not something, you know, that helps you being healthy. So if you like kind of lose a couple of kilos, that will definitely help you. So yeah, thank you very much for the compliments. Oh my goodness, I'm so I'm so honored. I don't deserve you. So that's, I'm very happy with Here Take Me Away. Wonderful, I love it. Very well made, and I love the mixing. You know, guys are always amazing at mixing, and yeah, Take Me Away was definitely one of my faves. It also was one of the criteria of my favorite tracks of the year. Are also if a track is released for a couple of weeks, couple of months, and then I'm coming back to the track to re-listen to it again after weeks, months. This is for me a huge sign of quality. And some of these tracks have that are maybe not one of your personal favorites, but are mine, for example. Yeah, because there were certain tracks that I really came back over and over with a really, you know, kind of long stretch of the year. So even when, for example, when I listen to a track from April, that I listen to it in December. So there's a really long time span between those. And not only a long time span of 7 or 8 months, but also thousands of tracks, really, and I'm not exaggerating, yeah? And then coming back to that one single track, you know, in December, to come to the track from April, that is for me a sign of quality, because then I remembered the track. Something really caught my attention, caught my kind of whatever, my feelings, whatever, and Take Me Away was one of these tracks. And this one as well, the next one, Destiny by Nicky Romero and Deniz Koyu. And I really enjoyed it, and I believe also the third main criteria of my favorites of the year is personal experience. Obviously, that was very tough this year because there were no clubs, there were no festivals from March on, and you know, this is basically an experience from 2019 because Deniz Koyu dropped this track in his ADE set 2019 at Protocol, and not only this one, but the one that we'll hear at the end of the mix. And the vocal is wonderful, and I'll just skip it a bit through because I really love when these chords are coming in, and the vocal here telling you, let's believe destiny is right here by your side, let's believe. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. it really reminds me of the golden 2012 era of these uplifting progressive tracks. And it's very tough nowadays to do tracks like these, where they don't sound, you know, repetitive or just generic. And I believe I can really hear the sound is very handcrafted. It took many hours to kind of, you know, come up with these certain layers. And the vocals just really, you know, fit kind of very well into all that. So yeah, let me know what you think about it, and maybe drop also your favorites of 2020. So now I'll skip a bit through the second drop because it's basically the same. What is up next? Because I've listened to the track to the mix very often already. Oh yeah. Now there's one guy that already liked my stream here, and I really much enjoy some of the transitions, you know, fit in very nicely, because I really took the time to kind of think which track matches which one in the mix, and which one, you know, where can I do like a good transition here. And I believe this one is very well made here, and especially now because we have like a happy drop, and now it gets a bit more melancholic, a bit more deep here. I love this. So I believe I put like the energy level like a bit higher, you know, like on like from one drop to the other, and that's why I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah. Corey James Delight, one of the releases on Release Deep this year. I believe Release Deep started at the end of last year. The sub-label by Johnny and Harry. Release Records is their label. And yeah, Joffrey's also watching over on Instagram. Thank you very much for joining. I'm discussing here my favorites of 2020. 21 tracks that kept me sane in 2020. I titled the mix because that's the truth, you know? There were no festivals whole summer for 9 months of the year, no clubs. And that's, you know, those tracks kept me like from going crazy, from you know, I don't know, destroying something, or I don't know, whatever you do. Yeah, Seen It From Above and Beyond. Yeah, Above and Beyond also dropped very nice tracks this year. I'm not sure whether I have this one, but you know, they are on the top of the game for many years already. Also, I'll skip here a bit because yeah, I started a bit too late. I'm honest. But yeah, but Above and Beyond didn't quite make it this year into my mix. But yeah, maybe next year. Maybe next year. No, I don't have anything here. Okay. So I really loved Is It Love 1001, the club mix, but that was already last year. And the collab with Seven Lions, See the End. Also a cool track, and Hideaway, also a good track by Above and Beyond. So yeah, but Above and Beyond is like for me like some like an own universe. I don't know, like yeah. Speaking of Lost Call, Rosie also made it into my mix, and I believe it's coming up right now. What a coincidence! Yeah, and this was the one track that I actually talked about before. This track wouldn't have seen the light of day without the pandemic. I'm 100% sure. Because the live show stopped, Michael Calfan sitting there, checking his project. Wait, there's this one project from 2013, it's called Last Call. Have I released this yet? No, I haven't. Okay, let's finish it and let's bring it out. Let's talk to Spinnin and let's do it. And that's how it happened, 99%. Okay, maybe I over-exaggerated a bit here, but I believe that was roughly that. And yeah, and also he updated kind of. He now made it kind of a like tech version, I would say, a bit of techier version. I would have taken that as well, because every version is cool of Last Call. Although he changed the drop on the original release, like the release for Spinnin, but he then, I believe, 3 weeks later, he released the 2013 version, and that made it obviously into my year mix. This basically is not a track of the year of the year 2020, but more of 2014, I would say, or 13, whatever you prefer. But yeah, as I have so many amazing memories, I've made a bunch of stories about the track. I told you my whole story with Last Call on Insta. Let's enjoy the drop here. yeah, I love it, but I don't want to keep it up too much because Spinnin is kind of a bit messy with copyright and stuff. So yeah, Last Call, amazing track. For years, was my kind of first personal ID, maybe after Levels. I don't know whether Levels was an ID or not, because it's been really like 8 years now that I know Levels, because it's been a massive hit in 2011, 9 years. So it's been like a hit for the whole summer, and then it was kind of released in October, November, so it was not so long an ID. But yeah, with Last Call, obviously it took 7 years to get released, so yeah, you know what I mean. And yeah, he got lazy. Okay, well, no, I believe he didn't get lazy. I mean, he just thought, you know, I mean, you could say, okay, I released that, but he never wanted it to release. You know, that's the difference, Rosie. He never wanted it to release, because we had like a certain guy, I believe a couple of years ago, who was really even kind of you know, bragging basically his manager to get this released, you know, because it's so fantastic. But for him, it was only Resurrection 2.0, and so he never wanted it to get released. And I believe this is the difference here. He didn't get lazy, but he just never, you know, it never appeared to him to release that, because he changed his style, which is his right to do so. Yeah, so I believe this is the difference here. And I really had an amazing experience when I heard it for the first time as an ID back in 2014, because I didn't know the track in 2013 for some reason. When he played at the Danube Island Festival in Vienna, where we got free entrance, we have a couple of stages, different music genres, from pop to electronic music to rock to whatever you want, to even comedy. And this part, the outro, this is the track where it got me. And it was fantastic. I shouted, and I loved the track, and yeah. And yeah. Thank you very much for Guillermo for being with me a couple of minutes, and I hope also for the best for you in 2021. Yeah. So next up, Detroit 3 AM. I believe the roughest track that made it into the mix. But simply because it had such a huge first impact. When I heard it for the first time, I thought, wow, this is something else. And that's basically what I did. So I really enjoyed it, in general, Morten and David Guetta this year. And yeah, let's hear the drop here. It's coming here. I can't zoom in here on Audacity. It's a bit strange here. So there we go. But yeah, I really love the track. I believe I heard it first on Kryder. It was really, really strong. So now here we go. This is Detroit 3 AM. And I believe this is kind of the new face of Big Room, I would say. So it's massive, it's very loud. It really like kind of, you know, blows you away, but in a good way. It's not like a Big Room track like with this hard distorted kick. But the kick is kind of very click. It's almost like a Swedish House Mafia kick, but like updated in 2020 or to 2020. And yeah, I really enjoyed that. And yeah, yeah. And now I believe probably the track that and also like David Guetta and Morten made another track of them made it into my year mix that I also want to kind of stress here. And now we get a bit change of momentum, or of kind of the atmosphere in general. Now we're heading over to a tech track, and I believe it was one of my favorite tech tracks, simply because of this sick melody in the drop and of the vocal. And this is an example of what I've meant before, that the track made it into my year mix because I believe it was released in May. It was very popular on Beatport, and then October, November, I came back to the track and I've listened to it even a couple of times. This is like kind of a vocal that I would even sync with two parts per thousand alcohol in my bloodstream. So you can basically, I forgot the name, lallen in German. So you can kind of, you know, you're drunk and you cannot articulate yourself and you still sing the lyrics. You know what I mean? So basically, it reminds me of the German Schlager, because Schlager, the main rule of Schlager, like kind of German disco music, like pop disco music, is that you need to write lyrics that way that you can, even with 2 promille, or like 2%, no, I mean 2 parts of 1,000 alcohol, still sing along. And what I mean by that is to slur. That's the word I was looking for. So, to the ground, I dance all night alone. You know what I mean? So the vocal here that Chris Lake added of All Night Alone. I can sing the lyrics along even with 2 parts per 1,000 alcohol in my bloodstream. So what is the original is by Joe Smith, and this part here. I can really like, I imagine the lights in my favorite Viennese club, Grelle Forelle. Like we have like the strobe lights and how they're going crazy with the melody of the drop. So I can kind of visualize as well the track, how it works in the club. And this is also like one of a quality sign, I would say. So this is also very important for me. So yeah, very enjoyed this one. But you know, all the tracks, Rosie, have kind of a reason why they're in, and I'm kind of trying to explain it, to give it a bit more context. That's why I do it. So basically the mix is out for 2 weeks already, but I'm still like talking now about it because, well, I feel like it. And now I have time. Before Christmas, I don't have time because I'm doing basically over hours because, well, I have to. Yeah, thank you so much for being with me. I'm doing this for you. If you enjoy like kind of what I have to say about the tracks. And yeah, now that I can slur the vocal to this one. I'm messy to the ground. Yeah. I never felt so good. So yeah, I mean, I'm making kind of a bit fun of the track, but in a good way, in a way that I kind of enjoy it. Not that I'm making fun out of it because it's so bad. It's not kind of big room or whatever. Or kind of something generic that, you know, everybody kind of produces. So I really enjoyed that one. So up next is the second Sosumi track that made it into my year mix, and the focus is not so much on Sosumi, I believe, on the track, but on Kato Anaya. Kato Anaya released amazing tracks this year. I chosen this one, and I'm sad that I didn't take a second one, but I believe I didn't. But Bailalo is really like the track where I kind of feeling the dancing vibes. I really want to kind of, I don't know, like kind of dance like crazy on this one. Bailalo! And also kind of scream the vocal, whatever. But also Sabrosura was an amazing release together with Les Castillos on the label Subliminal. Unfortunately, the label owner Eric Morillo died this year, or actually, you know, passed away. Very sad moment for all of us. And I believe Sabrosura was really one of these tracks. Also Waves, one of my favorites, together with Kryder from 3 years ago. And yeah, but you know, Kato Anaya released also Tu Tabor this year. What did I enjoy as well? Felicidad, the collab with the Cube guys, sick track. So really, Kato released many amazing tracks this year, and I'm very thankful that I had so much joy with his music. But I just chosen Bailalo because I feel it the most. Yeah, I really feel it like this. This track makes me dance like nothing else, I believe. So, like this. I'm really feeling it. Really like kind of, I don't know, like this kind of, you know, techie vibe together with those kind of happy, kind of jungle-ish kind of vibes. Feeling a bit like, yeah, just a happy track, you know. Just and yeah, together of course with Skyline as well from Germany. That you know, they're one of the owners, co-workers, whatever, at 1001 Tracklist, and yeah, he also like kind of, you know, worked on the song stats, a tool that keeps track like of many charts, playlists or whatever. So very great tool for producers and DJs in general to know which tracks got played where and how often it got supported. So 1001 Tracklist is really like the database basically for tracks, and yeah, I believe I was very happy when Oliver Heldens, I believe, made it to the #1 spot this year of most supported, because I believe he deserved it very much. Or was it Martin Garrix? I can't remember. Both are very amazing. But not Dimitri Vegas and Like Mike. They didn't even make it into the top 100. just to let you know. But I believe they were on number 2 or number 3 on the DJ Mag, or 4 or 5, something like that. But they didn't win it because Martin Garrix won it. So after Bailalo, what do we have next? I need to hurry up, but I know I won't manage like to go through everything that I want to take. Oh yeah, the summer hit of 2020 for me. So if I want to describe summer in one song, it's "Girl" by Casey Lights, Katzi Lights, as I call him in German. And yeah, but it's also very interesting. I believe KC is also like kind of a medicine in Poland that helps you against hangover. Amazing. And so yeah, but I believe I asked why he's calling him that way, and I believe it's just the initials of his name, Casey. But he's called K something C something. So not very kind of creative or whatever, but you know, that's just the name he goes by. I don't care so much because he released for me the summer track of the year. Girl, you've always been my girl, in my mind. Really feeling it. And I think one of my favorite rappers from a couple of years ago, he also like kind of dropped the track with the lyrics, "You've always been my girl, and now we're not together anymore. My heart hurts so much," and stuff like this. You know, kind of a break-up song. And yeah. But this one basically is not about breaking up; it's about being together with a girl, which is, you know, very happy. Like having a girl in your mind. And yeah, and you know, the vibe in general, like the summerish vibe, really just laying on the beach, which I didn't do this year, and you know, headphones and just feeling it, you know, feeling the summer vibes. 30 degrees outside, and in the sand, laying in the sand. So that's kind of my 2020. Yeah, thank you so much, Bruno. Yeah, indeed. Thank you very much. I really lost a ton of weight. And Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you very much for joining. Yeah, and Girl is one of my faves of 2020. I really enjoyed kind of this summerish vibes. And I believe I heard it for the first time also on Kryder. So many of these tracks I hear for the first time on Kryder. That's why I'm still listening, because I'm not only having, like, I do have some promos, but not all of them, and not, I believe, the AAA ones, whatever. And I hear them first on Kryder like 2 or 3 weeks in advance, and then they get released. And yeah, and then I think, well, I heard it already on Kryder 2 or 3 weeks ago. Super great. And Alessa joined over on Instagram. Thank you very much for joining. And Alessa, very important person for me, because she's one of the persons that really kept me sane, also in lockdowns with long calls, and I really needed that, because we planned on meeting each other twice this year, I believe, both in Liverpool and then in Amsterdam or wherever, or even once in the summer. So we were made up to, like, kind of, we were made to, we were supposed to meet 3 times, and then it's 0 in the year, and then it was, you know, very sad experience. But maybe next year, if we all get vaccinated, if the cases are going down, and then yeah, hopefully we'll be back together. And Robin Aristo is in as well. Thank you very much for joining. Really enjoyed your rave cave, always on Saturdays. Very entertaining. And yeah, also you had a great year in releases. Very much on Hysteria, released a lot of stuff there. And yeah, hoping for the best in 2021. All the best, and also to Sarah. Lovely Sarah. And yeah, and now we are changing also the atmosphere a bit. We are heading now into my, I would call it, progressive section, and we have here the Pete K's bracket, I would say, because I start this block with a Pete K track and I end it with a Pete K track, and that, yeah, thank you so much, Alessa. Yeah, I really much enjoyed the calls as well. And I believe we won't make it tomorrow, but I believe on Saturday or Sunday, or maybe at the beginning of next week, we'll definitely call again. And yeah, and so I took 2 tracks of Pete K this year into my year mix to emphasize, I believe, Pete K really started a new era for me in my listening experience. So I've maybe mentioned it a couple of times already on my Bisicast over the past years, that so there were like 4 or 5 big eras of me listening to electronic music where I say, you know, in those phases or in those eras, whatever you want to call it, I've listened to a certain artist the most. Yeah, and I want to also to mention, thank you very much, Robin, for the greetings, and yeah, wish you also a wonderful 2021. And what I wanted to say is that, yeah, I started off my electronic music experience in school already with, I believe, a bit of David Guetta, and Tayo Cruz, Florida, but I don't know whether this was electronic music, you know, very tough to say. But, you know, then I basically, maybe I can show it to you once we hear Traveler, but I'm not sure whether I can find it that quickly. 2 CDs, which, yeah, I got it here. I'm always very quick with the CDs. That really started my journey in electronic music, and this was Deniz and Finlay. So these 2 compilations, it's written down here, Electro House Mix, very vintage almost already. And those basically brought me to electronic music. But first we hear this fantastic drop of Traveler here. Nah, too early. Damn. Sorry. These drops, these making up Pete K so much, and that's why I love him so much. And yeah, so I started with Deniz and Finlay basically, and then there were tracks on by Avicii, for example, and then I started to love Avicii, and kinda together with Avicii, kinda at the same time Swedish House Mafia. So there was this Avicii Swedish House Swedish House Time Mafia, Swedish House Mafia time, basically like at the same time. Then I discovered through, I believe, a track on his, I believe Toulouse, I believe it was Toulouse. I discovered, or Camorra, I can't remember exactly. I discovered Nicky Romero, and I loved Nicky Romero for 1 or 2 years massively. That much that I preferred him over Swedish House Mafia on the same night. Imagine that. From today's point of view, which legacy Swedish House Mafia has, it's insane. But I've been last year to Stockholm, which is fine. I kind of made that up. And then through Nicky Romero, I discovered Axtone. So I've been listening to Axtone for a year, and I still love these old tracks, California, their remixes, their releases on Spinnin, on Protocol. And then there was a bit this big room crisis. Everything started sounding the same. Then I discovered Kryder with Aphrodite. And from then on, you know, Kryder and Staar kind of at the same time, because they've been doing a lot of collaborations together. And basically this era from 2014, 2015 basically lasts until now. Until I kind of, when I made this year mix, I looked back at the tracks by Pete K. Basically that there's a second era kind of at the same time now as Kryder and Staar. This is the Pete K era. Because I started listening to his music more intensely in 2017. 3 years ago, I believe this main track that really got me was, my goodness, not Allegoria, that's on the same EP, but the other track by Pete K. But that was on this EP that was released on Release Records. So, and kind of, you know, basically Third Party was also at the same time. So again, like 3 eras basically now, because Third Party, I also love them. You know, but it's, you know, the music kind of is a bit different from like the so you cannot really compare as much Kryder and Third Party. Of course, well, roughly, but not like 100%. And the track that I'm referring to here is Solace, exactly. I have many Pete K tracks before, but like this and Solace were kind of like the first track that I've listened to mostly by Pete K. And kind of, you know, that started kind of the era for me, like a third era. And I really love this transition into No Puss. No Puss is the next track by Eric Prydz. So I'm very thankful for Pete for his music, and Botneck Take Me High was a sick release, indeed. I loved it. Very unique sound design, Mauricio, absolutely. So before that we had Pete K with Traveler. That was released on 03. And before that we had, and now we are having No Puss by Eric Prydz. So that was released on Ministry of Sound, I believe. I don't know whether you pronounce it with caps or not. Moss, I see Moss. This is the track that is going in now, and I've been waiting for a long time for Nopus, and for me, it's Nopus kind of the anti-track to Opus. Opus is very, really to like climatic, and with Nopus, I'll also start every new year from now on. So at 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 16 seconds, I believe, I start Nopus. I start Opus with the intro, and at 3:45 minutes, 3 minutes 45 seconds into the track, it hits the drop hits exactly midnight, and I love this. I love this idea, and it's kind of for me like kind of a happy kind of, you know. I love to start the year with a drop, with a massive build-up and a massive drop. So that's why I love the idea of Opus. And Nopus is kind of like the anti idea to Opus, because it's a happy track, it's an uplifting track, and it's not so focused much on the build-up and on the drop, because the build-up goes very quick, and I love this wheel, 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 and I kind of singing this melody along, and it maybe didn't have like a huge impact on me, but I'm just so fascinated by the production level of this track. Really, that he has like this idea of this wheel, 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 this like, you know, kind of different layers, you know, on the track, and thus, you know, I'm very happy that he released it, because I've heard in his live sets that I usually listen as an MP3, or his epic radio shows on Apple Music. So yeah, very enjoyable. And we'll skip now a bit, or maybe not, because I really love the breakdown here of, you know, here. And also, like, he has like different ideas for different parts of the track. So this kind of synthi has little to do with the synthi in the drop. So I really enjoyed that. And sorry guys, my lips are getting so dry. I need to do something. But I'm a bit in a hurry. This is the problem. Do I have a chapstick here? I usually have one. Sorry, we see now my... I don't have one. There. Why don't I have a chapstick here? I have one. There we go. There we go. So, because my lips are so dry, I didn't drink enough water today. So sorry for that, but I need that. I'm talking too much. Usually I let the music speak for itself, but on that, in that kind of case, I just want to give the mix a bit more context, and also to tell you why I love certain track and why not. As you see, also watching, thank you very much for joining. Yeah, my lips are very dry, sorry. All I Need right now, Otoro. And yes, he also played this at Steelyard. Exactly, Rosie. Can you send me the track? Because I'm not sure whether I know it. All I Need right now by Otoro. I'm not sure whether I know that. And he's also over there. Thank you very much for joining. Happy New Year tomorrow. Happy that you are both. I haven't seen you in a long time. Maybe after lockdown. Yeah, and Nopus, one of my favorites of the year. And then, yeah. And I also love, you know, the whole kind of arrangement of Nopus. It's sick as well. So really takes the idea, you know, to kind of break it down, go up again. Why are you watching simultaneously? This is so interesting. Both you very good friends are now over on Instagram. Thank you very much for joining, Andy and Lucas. And yeah, hope to see you soon again after lockdown. And yeah, one thing about the next track is it's a Camel Fat track. Camel Fat released an amazing, highly well critiqued, 5-star rated whatever album called Dark Matter. Exactly. I will check it out. Thank you very much. And yeah, and basically I could have taken every single track of the album and make it the track of the year. I could have taken For a Feeling that was released as a single, where it's a feature with, or like a collaboration with Artbat. And you can, what I love very much about For a Feeling is that kind of it combines the best parts of the both worlds, of art bed and camel bed, and you can hear that very, very well. And in the track, I could have taken Easier. There was also on the album sick vocal. I loved it very much, but I decided to go with Phantoms, the collaboration with Christoph. So I believe Brief made it already 2 years ago into my year mix, and this is kind of their follow-up to Brief. And it's also like a quality of production and like also this melancholic feeling that I get when, sorry that I'm blistering so much here, but my lips are dry. Can't do anything about it. I'm trying to drink water. But I love very much the strings here. This and the melody as well. So everything fits together, and I've been listening to this track whole October basically, and every time I put it on, I have such a smile on my face. I'm really feeling the drop, and that's what it's about, you know, just having a good time with the music you're listening to. Once you can experience this live, so yeah. So also like with the head banging like this, just feeling it, and that's it. You know, love it, absolutely love it. So. Phantoms, one of my favorites, and now we're heading over the Pete K-ish bracket is closing now, or the progressive block is closing now with my Pete K brackets. This is Take Me Now, that was released on Release Records. A bit more of an uplifting track by Pete K, but I had an amazing experience first time listening to it on Kryder back then. Pete K ID, and it was released rather quickly, 3 weeks after that or so, and this really got me. So I was doing and this is the thing, you know, why a track makes it into my year mix, because I really remember what I did when I heard it for the first time. I was doing household duties, and I really had to kind of lay my phone away and just. I had an orgasm, whatever, in my brain. The serotonins were really going off at this drop, and quickly it was looking like this. So when I heard this, I went crazy. My head was exploding. Really, my God. Wow, this was... I couldn't believe it myself. Like, those are the moments in life where I'm thinking, do you even believe what you hear right now? Like, not in a negative note, like Trump, all year long, basically, or what he was tweeting, but in a positive way. Is that true? Is that like this massive drop that I, you know, was kind of not asking for, but it's kind of here now, and it totally, you know, gets my whole body shaking, and like it was a braingasm, basically, however you want to call it. I couldn't believe, and now he's keeping on with this 6 stabs and with this kick, and I'm thinking, God, that's never gonna end. Like, kinda, it's going on like this, and wow, Pete, I need to highlight that. it's my reaction now was too crazy and too priceless. But Pete, really, thank you so much. And also Kenopsha, I could have taken Kenopsha. I could have taken what else did you release? I believe I still have it here. Without Your Love was also on release. Sonda on release deep, also sick. Yeah, Nostalgia was already last year. But yeah, Take Me Now and Traveler really got me instantly hooked. And also like the second drop here with the melody, sick. I loved it so much. And Mauricio, thank you very much for sending the link. I'll check it out. So I really loved it. Amazing track. I believe if I have to rank my favorite tracks, it would be definitely my top 3, because of the sheer emotions and feelings that I had when first time listening. So I'm really kind of sad that I kind of didn't record my reaction when I was listening to Kryder, but I cannot be prepared for every ID that is played on Kryder, right? So, and it was really an amazing experience. Really, I needed really to hold in, you know, kind of. I was doing household duties while listening to Kryder, because I usually listen to it via headphones or on the Facebook app on my phone, and you know, and then I'm doing something, and then this track, I mean, it starts already because I kind of feel that it's PK already because I know his sound, and then this massive drop comes in, and then I was already getting prepared, and then boom, yeah. Track is called "Take Me Now" by Pete K. I'm not sure whether I can write this here now, but I will, because it's because just so you know what I'm talking about. The next track you can already hear in the background. It's a Kryder Records release, but yeah, the track is absolutely amazing. "Take Me Now" out on Release Records, labeled by third party, obviously. And we're starting off here now with "All I Need" by Cruzy. And Cruzy had a fantastic year as well from Madrid. So there we go. Pete K, "Take Me Now" release. That was the track I was talking about. Absolutely sick. And of course, as we see, thanks for asking. Obviously, that's what I'm here for. And "All I Need" was the first release on, I believe it was, yeah, on Kryder Records. And I'm very happy that it's back. It's had a break now for over a year, I believe. And now we had also 6 tracks by Lake Kenda, aka Jan Like, from Germany, Hamburg, I believe. And I very much enjoyed all the releases. I then decided to go with the first track because I kind of really enjoyed it over the whole year. It was regularly played on Kryder, and I always enjoyed it. It's a bit deeper, a bit different. I could have also taken his remix together with Jose de Mara and Cruzy about "Let the Light" or "Let the Love Shine In" on Amala Captivating, but I decided to go with this because I also wanted to give Kryder a bit of credit. And also, one track that kind of didn't make it was a track by Cartel, because the one that I wanted to take in, "La Maguiniana" by Alex Hoink and et al., as we would say in scientific language, and 2 others, because I don't know all the artists there, was simply released too late. It was in December, and December is really, I've heard it a couple of times on Kryder, but I didn't kind of make I didn't rip it or something. Blackfur and Sebastian Reza and Alex Hoink with "La Maguilena" out in Cartel didn't quite make it. But I'm sure a Cartel track will definitely release. Will make it next year into the mix. I'm 99% sure about it, basically. Mauricio, thank you very much for the recommendations about Creamy Goat and Otoro. I'll check them out. And yeah, I really enjoyed "All I Need." It was really a sick release and did very well. And I'm happy that I'm too fast, and that Kryder is back. And all the best for Kryder. Up next, the bombardment. Yeah, the drop blew me away. Just like 3 AM, David Guetta and Morton. Let's check it out together. Bam, 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 bam. I could have taken "Kill Me Slow" or any other track, but this track really got stuck in my head. And massive, I can imagine people going crazy on this one in clubs, on festivals. It tears off the stage. For me, it tears off the stage, so I can really, really feel it. David Guetta, Morton, Bombardment, part of the Future Rave EP. So they kind of created a new genre in 2020. I could have taken, as I've already mentioned, any other track from this EP. Odyssey is a sick one as well, but this one really got stuck in my head. And that's why 2 tracks, because both Detroit 3 AM and Bombardment really kind of are outstanding for me in sound design, in also like the power that it kind of creates, the power it creates, kind of, kind of what an amazing tool it is to get people crazy. So that's what I love so much about it. Yeah, so that's it. Adrian is watching. Thank you very much for joining. How was Christmas? Let me know. Yeah, bombardment really attracted, really kind of, I really felt, and I really came back even weeks after the release, so I really much enjoyed it. So I believe there are 3 tracks left now in my year mix, and then I gave like the mix more context, and this one is personal experience. Tank 2.0, Deniz, Koyu, and Magnificence with Feel It. Da da da. Da, 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 da. It's a bit more, so Tank was amazing. For that case, I believe it was released in 2012, back then on Flamingo Records, because it only has 1 note and different lengths of notes, basically. And this one has a bit more variation, but not as much. It's a nice kind of follow-up to Tank. And so when I heard it for the first time, I recorded it on my story last year at ADE. Deniz Koyu was playing his set there. I was freaking out, because I didn't know it. I kind of expected a sick drop, and then when it came, whoa! And then I was kind of listening, I had this orgasm, and then, woo! I was freaking out completely. So you can hear it on my ADE 2019 Insta story highlights. The same as Last Call, because Last Call also has its own highlights. I believe I need to look it up, but yeah. So that was sick as well, and it was also one of the lockdown tracks because it came out in March, and I was really listening to a lot in the lockdown. So yeah, I mean it has a vocal in the breakdown, but I believe not a very kind of. I mean it's not a very special vocal. Kind of wanted to zoom in a bit. Yeah, this can you feel? In my opinion, it was not really necessary, the vocal, because the drop itself is like kind of so powerful already that, yeah, that I really enjoyed it. I can do, I believe, now longer live streams on Insta, because I'm definitely live for longer than an hour now, and I'm still live. This is very cool. I love this idea. And yeah, so that was that. That was Feel It. And one of the last tracks, the second to last track of this year mix, is obviously only for basically production quality. That we found love. Ooh. Errol Reed on the vocals. I'm in love. Absolutely. He nailed that vocal like I believe nobody else this year. Really. It fits so well, and they third party posted also like the video of their Zoom call or Skype call, whatever, and he was really vibing with the vocal. Like he was kind of having like you could kind of hear the creative process behind it. And this is for me something. Oh, I love watching stuff like this. And of course, beautiful drop, and GVN, of course, also a very important figure here. And yeah. And now the vocal here. Now that we found love, I got this feeling in my heart. This feel, and that's this. I got this feeling in my heart. I got this feeling in my heart. And I was like kind of singing it all along. And yeah, and it's definitely also in my, I believe, top 3 this year, or at least top 5. Because, you know, deciding yourself between Take Me Away and We Found Love is simply impossible. And that's why both tracks made it into my year mix, and my year mix is longer this year. And I've already heard amazing responses for my year mix. A couple of my friends that really enjoyed it, enjoyed the length, that's over 1.5 hours, that it's so diverse, that I really take the time to take the transitions, to make the transitions, and yeah, this is just so diverse, you know, it's basically me, I'm crazy, kind of in the sense of, maybe not as crazy, but if you like compare, I don't know, We Found Love to All Night Alone, Chris Lake edit, or PTK. So I have really proper progressive, I have uplifting progressive, I have electro, I have basically big room almost with Morten, and groove and tech and really everything in between basically. So yeah, I really enjoyed this year mix, putting it together. For me it was just, you know, important to kind of make for myself a monument for 2020. Like a musical monument at least, if it wasn't like a personal or experience monument, because it was really a tough year. because you know when shops are closing down, you're working in a shop, you just don't know whether you can make it, whether you can survive, you know, with these restrictions, with these lockdowns, when they close down your shop, and yeah, it's been really tough. We made it, thankfully, and yeah, for that I'm very thankful. And yeah, let's hope that those lockdowns will end in 2021, and that we can at least travel again, meet each other again. Whether you can hear the year mix, I'll send you the link afterwards on Mixcloud. It's on Mixcloud, but I'll send it to you. And I ended it with the radio mix here, and then I started the last track, and I love this idea. The last track is Bridge by Lightwave by Deniz and Keisha. We haven't heard of Keisha for a long time, since Hideaway, and there's a massive story behind it. She was, I believe, how do you say this? Like kind of cheated, not cheated on, but like kind of, how do you say this? There's this one, betrayed, yeah. Kind of by her management, so because her management had like all the rights to the music, and for 2 more albums or so, and everything that she kind of produced it belonged to the manager, and she didn't want that, and that's why it took her a long time. It was a long, I believe, legal process to get out of this, and yeah, and now I believe she's done, she's back, and dropped this massive vocal. I believe both Errol Reed and Keisha really like kind of made those kind of nailed these vocals. And there's even a fantastic meme, and I don't have a third device. Why don't I have a third device? I don't know. I believe I dropped it on my Instagram once, where you have these several phases of listening to the track. There was a SpongeBob meme, and there are like kind of 6 parts. The first one very melancholic, then you kind of hear as a DJ, and then at the end you have this inner peace. And this, the arrangement reminds me very much of Monophobia, which made it 2 years ago into my year mix. And this year, again, for the sake of quality production, Bridge by Lightwave in my year mix. And on that note, I will end this very special episode of Bisicast, the first one in, I believe, 7 months. And to be honest, guys, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed talking to you, explaining to you why certain tracks and whatever. And I hope I might come back to the Bisicast. Alexander Kruel is watching. You also had an amazing year. Thank you very much. Now we're enjoying the first drop of Bridge by Lightwave by Deniz and Keisha for our inner peace. And also shout outs to Marcel Briss, who really loves the track, and who was not listening to anything else for a couple of days. And Tom is also in. Thank you very much for joining towards the end, because in 10 minutes Kryder starts off his personal year mix, and I'm sure some of these tracks that you hear right now you'll hear again on Criteria Radio, on his SoundCloud, on his Facebook, afterwards of course on his SoundCloud. And we can make bets on, because unfortunately Facebook policy is very bad and really kicks out your live stream, even if you have all the rights to your music, because last week he was only playing music by Cartel, Criteria and Sosumi, where he has all the rights to, because it's all his labels, and they still kick him out of the live stream. Can you imagine that? Like it's like the radio show mix. Sick. And Emma is also joining. Thank you very much. Bridge by Lightwave is a heavy beat, absolutely. And Deniz really, with his quality of production, like nobody else almost. He's really unique producer in our spheres and in our the music that we love, and that's why he deserved to be with this track in my year mix. And it's also a great ending to this mix. Fantastic track to finish it off, to call this year the year and forget about it. And in Vienna there was one saying, we had the pandemic, we had this shitty terrorist attack where people were saying "Schleich die du Arschloch," so fuck off you asshole, and fuck off 2020. I don't want to hear about anything anymore. It was the worst year. Nobody can tell me. The only one who it was a good year for was Jeff Bezos. let's be honest, Jeff Bezos, it was his year, but not ours. Yeah, and it's actually our fault that it was Jeff Bezos' year. Let's be honest. Really. Because I'm also ordering at Amazon. Everybody does, almost. So, I'm trying to order as little as possible. But, you know, sometimes it's not doable. But, yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I hope Rosie that I'm right. The only one that probably was his year. And thank you very much. Yeah, I love this t-shirt as well. I bought it at the merch stand, I believe 2 years ago. Or last year, I believe, at their Liverpool show at Olympia. And let's hope it will be back in November. Sorry, in March. Thank you very much, Alessa. Yeah, it's just the truth. A handful. What happened basically? It's very simple. The rich got richer. The poor got poorer. We see it at Jeff Bezos, and on the other hand, we see it in Montreal, I believe, where this refugee camp burned down. They kind of built a new one, which is even worse than Montreal. And yeah, this is a very, I believe, sad topic. I'm more disappointed by our government, by our Austrian government, because they are saying, well, we give them, like, we send them food, but the food is, or like any appliances or whatever, what they need there, and it's not getting there because the Greek government doesn't get it. You know, it doesn't give it to them. But it's very complex. It's very. I didn't want actually to talk about politics now here, but we had those two amazing, you know, far apart things in 2020. Jeff Bezos got richer, and Moria got fired up, and the new refugee camp is even worse than Moria. And I believe we see this kind of dissonance here very much. So on this kind of sad note, I finished my show. Thank you very much for being with me. It was amazing. I loved it. I loved the mix. I know usually I do not kind of compliment myself so much, or like don't say, well done, Max Bees. You know, that's not me. But I just enjoyed it. I just wanted to give like this shitty year at least a musical monument, as I call it. Musikalisches Denkmal in German. I believe it doesn't make sense so much in English, but it does in German. And I believe I did this with this mix, at least for me. Everything in there. Kryder, Kato Anaya, Third Party, Pete K, Deadmau5. What else do you ask for? So I loved it. Thank you very much. And yeah, I'm really thinking about, because I had so much fun, to kind of come back to the Bisicast next year. The point is, unfortunately, with this whole pandemic and the whole situation, it's very tough. I work long hours, and I have certain ideas for the Bisicast. I wanted to bring it, to give it to take it to the next level, but I can't. I can't because I don't have the time for it. I want to do more research on the tracks. I want to invest in better equipment. I want to bring it to Twitch, too. But yeah. Simply at this point not possible, and I'm just, you know, nobody is saying hope for better times because they're not coming. Do it right now. But I simply know I'm not 18 anymore. I'm 28, and this is the huge difference. But I hope that when this pandemic is over, I might maybe take another job, or like a different job if it works out. But also there I have to put more work in to have better results afterwards. But we'll see what 2021 will keep for us. It will be the year of the vaccines, so let's all get vaccinated. This is my only wish for 2021. Let's all get vaccinated, because the history showed that only vaccines are helping to stop the pandemic, and because we cannot socially distance all the time, like 24/7, because we want to go to concerts, we want to go to clubs, to meet people, to drink a beer in a bar together. We all want that, and yeah. James, thank you very much for joining, and yeah, let's take it to the next level in 2021. Thank you very much. I'll give my best, but I can't really promise anything because the times are so uncertain still, unfortunately. But I'll do my best. But I'm happy that I got now a new tablet, at least, which I kind of went now on Facebook with, and I believe with Instagram, the phone is enough. So, and now we have this inner peace at the end, what I was mentioning. Bridge by Dan Mouse and Keisha. Bridge by Light Wave, one of my favorites of this year. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to be back at some point next year. Maybe I'll do it once, like fortnightly, maybe once a month, something like this. Maybe. I can't promise anything. I'm still, you know, checking constantly for tracks, but then, you know, thinking which track fits which one. And I believe when I mix the tracks, now what I also realized to finish it off is that I have less stress with kind of, you know, changing the tracks here and there, like forward and backwards and whatever. But you know, this is also like another effort, and like I need to look for the tracks, mix them together, think which track fits with which one into the mix. So it's a ton of work. I love it, but I don't have the time for it anymore, because when I work until, I don't know, 9 or 10 p.m., I'm heading home. I haven't even, you know, had dinner yet, and this is very unhealthy. I want to eat dinner earlier, because I learned, this is also one of the points why I lost so much weight. I learned how to eat properly, 3 times a day, not too late. And this is all something I can all recommend to you. Really, eat 3 times a day. That's totally enough. Eat whole grain, which is also very important. So what I learned, you know, that's why I lost so much weight. But I don't want to get too much into detail. I want to eat earlier in the evening, not that late. But sometimes, you know, it's like this. I have to 9 p.m., 10 p.m. and I have to eat dinner, and then I go to bed at, I don't know, 1 or 2, and it's, in my opinion, also way too late. So thank you very much once again for listening. Have a great start into 2021. Stay safe. Keep at home. The best to not spread the virus further until we get all vaccinated. Keep distance. Wash hands as always. And yeah, hope to see you next year in 2021, and maybe even one of the concerts, one of a club show, festival, whatever. Let's hope for the best for 2021. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. And yeah, have a great New Year's Eve, and we'll see each other in 2021. Thank you very much, and bye.